Now, this has never, ever happened before in the NFL. Honest, Atlanta's Derek Vaughn takes the opening kickoff, blows past Ram kicker Jeff Wilkins, who injured himself on that dead tuna tackle, and the Falcons lead 7-0. But not for long. On what we call the ensuing kickoff, Atlanta's Gerald McBurrows, 22, makes Wilkins look like Dick Butkus. Then Tony Horn's gone. Watch the guys on the sidelines. They're running faster than he is. 103 yards for the touchdown, and we're tied at 7. But the Falcons fought back. Chris Chandler to Terrence Mathis. Touchdown, 14-7 Atlanta. But Tony Horn only had to travel 3 yards to tie it up. A 2-point conversion was a pass from London Fletcher to Keith Lyle. Then former Berlin star Justin Watson's run capped a 97-yard drive. Rams lead 21-14. But Jamal Anderson had the Falcons flying and tied the game at 21. Cue Kurt Warner. He hits Oz Hakeem Zahir. And watch the Wizard of Oz do his thing. Breaks one tackle, heads in the end zone untouched. Rams up 29-21 at the half. Warner's third touchdown pass went to Robert Holcomb. And at 37-21, it was just about all over. Marshall Faulk had 208 yards rushing, 78 more receiving, scored the game's final touchdown. Rams win 45-29. Marshall Faulk's 286 yards in total offense was more offense than 9 teams in the NFL this week. The Rams' 529 yards was more than both teams in 3 of the other games. Kurt Warner threw for more than 300 yards for the 6th straight week. At Soldier Field, Des White went 25 yards on this wide-out screen to give the Bears a 6-0 lead. But down by 9, the Vikings' Robert Smith broke a 72-yard touchdown run. Nice moves by Smith as he just stretches it out, glides into the end zone, and the Vikings are within 2 of the monsters of the Midway. Then Dante Culpepper hit Chris Carter, and Carter stretched out. The Vikings stretched in to a 14-9 lead. Culpepper to Matthew Hachette. No taunting, please. Vikings up 21-9. What's that you say? James Allen on the ground brings the Bears back within 5. But then Dante dodged, dived, and dove. Delivered a deft dink directly into Randy Moss's hands. Vikings win 28-16, 170 yards for Smith, 9 solo tackles for Ed McDaniel. In Jimmy Hoffa's home away from home, the Exit 16W Giants greeted Troy Aikman with a Dave Thomas interception. Former Jag Pete Mitchell couldn't have been more alone if he'd been giving away Barry Manilow tickets. Giants up 7-0. Hey Pete, you got any front row seats? Tiki Barber, now is he thunder or is he lightning? He goes 47 yards to set up a field goal, and the Giants will lead 10-0. But then former Rhine Fire star Jason Tucker nearly puts Dallas back on the board. Tucker's in the clear now, but watch, he's going to get pushed out on the 2 by Conrad Hamilton. But Troy Aikman hits another former Fire fixture, Robert Thomas. Thomas goes in for the score. It's 10-7 New York. Dallas then went in front 14-13 on Emmitt Smith's 3-yard scamper. But Michael Barrow's interception, this was the 5th interception off Aikman on the day, got the Giants in gear again. And then Ron Dane. Now, is Ron Dane thunder or is he lightning? Dane takes it in from 4 yards out to give the Giants a 19-14 lead. 19-14 was the way it ended. Dane with his first ever 100-yard game as a pro. Barber added 73, but the key was 5 interceptions and 5 sacks off Troy Aikman. In Arizona, the Battle of the Birds was all Eagles. Carlos Emmons broke up the reverse. David Boston fumbles, and rookie Corey Simon recovers for Philadelphia. Donovan McNabb goes back to pass. No to run. No to pass. No to run again. He's off 23 yards, and that sets up a touchdown by Stanley Pritchett. McNabb didn't get in the end zone. Pritchett did. 7-0. McNabb takes it in himself this time from 3 yards out. That made it 17-0. No extra points for the Swish. On 3rd and 10, McNabb hits Chad Lewis. This increases the lead to 24-0 Philadelphia in the 3rd quarter. Jake Plummer got the Cardinals rolling briefly. He hits David Boston for a score. Now Boston's going to get a taunting penalty on this one right there. Tell me how you taunt when you're down 24-6. The final was 33-14. Even without Deuce Staley, the Eagles got 172 yards rushing from 6 different runners. In New Orleans, Ricky Williams ran for 144 yards. That's his 4th straight game over 100 yards. And it was Williams' 2-yard run that puts the Saints up 7-0 over the Panthers early in the 2nd quarter. Now watch number 26, Corey Harris takes the short snap on the fake punt. This keeps the Saints drive alive. And that leads to Williams' 2nd TD. The Saints go up 17-6. And when Jeff Blake hit Joe Horn to cap the scoring, Joe Horn is the hottest horn in Dixieland these days. The Saints came out winners 24-6. The Saints D played big, 8 sacks of the day off Steve Berline, 3 of them for former Barcelona buddy Leroy Glover. In the Battle of the Baltimore-Washington Turnpike, Washington drew first blood. Brad Johnson hits James Thrash. That's James Thrash, to set up a 37-yard field goal by Chris Hepner, recently released by Seattle, but good on his first kick for his new team, 3-0 Skins. With the Ravens offense shooting blanks behind quarterback Tony Banks, all it took was Stephen Davis's 33-yard run to seal things for the Redskins. Davis in for the TD, no ifs, ands, or buts, and Baltimore's Shannon Sharp said he didn't understand.
Came down to one play. They made one play, we made no play. And how can you go 60 minutes without making one play on offense? I can't fathom. And in my 11 years, I've never seen a situation like this. And we have to go back to square one. And whatever that is, a mini camp or training camp, well, we have to find a way to get the ball in the end zone. Because right now, we're killing our team. Offensively, we're killing our football team.
3 games without a touchdown for Baltimore. The Ravens gave up almost 100 yards to Stephen Davis, 91. Tony Banks threw 1 interception, but it was a killer. Last week in Foxborough, the Patriots held Edgerrin James in check. This week in Seattle was a different story. A brilliant 26-yard run, individual effort from James. Colts go up 7-0. Darrell Jackson on the crossing pattern is Seattle's best weapon. Brock Huard delivers. It's 10-7 Colts. But Edgerrin James soon made it 17-7. Bulls his way in for the touchdown. Seattle struck swiftly. Huard to Atula Mealy. It's 17-14. It was 20-17 Indy at the half. But then Peyton Manning got down to work. He hits Ken Dilger. The big tight end makes a quick move, makes the catch, 27-17. And then Edgerrin James's 3rd touchdown run of the day sealed it. The final score, 37-24 Indianapolis. Edgerrin James, 219 yards rushing, was a club record for the Colts. And since he was gaining all those yardage, former London Monarch quarterback Kerry Joseph made 13 tackles at safety for Seattle. In Denver, the Broncos' Brian Griese was searching for a big play. He found one, 67 yards to Ed McCaffrey on the short crossing pattern. And McCaffrey's run would set up a field goal and a 3-0 lead for the Broncos over the Browns. Griese broke the 3-3 tie with a 22-yard touchdown pass to Rod Smith, putting Denver up 10-3. Griese to Rod Smith again, 17 yards this time, 17-3, Denver goes up. Rookie Mike Anderson is back in gear. His 26-yard run put Denver up 27-10, and the Browns were turning blue at high altitude. Greasy and Smith combined for a third touchdown, 32 yards this time, 34-10. That made the score. It was all over but the band playing. Billy Jenkins' 36-yard interception return added to Cleveland's misery. The final score, 44-10. Greasy threw for more yards than Kurt Warner. Anderson got 100 rushing. McCaffrey and Smith both over 100 receiving. In Buffalo, rookie Sammy Morris cuts back against the grain and goes 32 yards to put the Bills up 7-3 over the winless Chargers. Everything was going the Bills' way when Jonathan Linton fumbles. Big Jerry Ostrowski falls on the ball in the end zone. The Bills catch a break. They lead 14-3. Way to go, Jerry. But Jim Harbaugh, who used to do this for the Colts in Buffalo, throws 60 yards to Curtis Conway. It's captain comeback all over again. Chargers within 4. Then Jermaine Fazenda gave San Diego the lead at 17-14. The Chargers would go up 24-14, but Rob Johnson's screen pass to Sean Bryson cut the lead down to 3. Steve Christie's field goal with 11 seconds left sent the game into overtime, where Doug Flutie hit Eric Moles to set up a game-winning field goal. And then after Jerry Ostrowski's offside penalty nullified a 41-yard miss, Steve Christie hit from 46 to give the Bills the win. The Chargers waste great games from Conway and Jeff Graham. Flutie replaced the injured Rob Johnson, who'll miss at least 2 more games. In Green Bay, Brett Favre hit Antonio Freeman with a 68-yard touchdown pass. This is Freeman's longest touchdown in 2 years. And just like the old days are back in Green Bay. They're not quite back in San Francisco, but Jeff Garcia took a hit and still hit Charlie Garner. Beautiful pass, 39 yards, 7-7. I'm on my game. Green's 20-yard run was stopped short of the touchdown, but it set up Green's own 2-yard touchdown run, 14-7 Pack at the half. Down 21-7, Garcia hits J.J. Stokes to cut the lead to 1 touchdown, and Stokes' Lambeau leap gets rejected by the crowd. Garcia combined with Terrell Owens for 16 yards to tie things up at 21 all. Terrell's toe touch typified his terrific talent. After Amon put the Pack back on top, Garcia and Owens did it again. Same pattern, same result. Owens beats 5 Packers to the end zone. It's 28 all. But Ryan Longwell's 35-yard field goal in the final minute clinches a 31-28 win for the home team. It was Jeff Garcia's second straight 4-touchdown, no-interception game. He has 19 touchdown passes on the season, which leads the NFL.
Yeah, finished with a good one there, and it's we asked the question about these two at the start. You know, they were going hammer and tong at each other. Terrell Owens says he reckons he's playing in the best 2-5 team he's ever been in.
Well, you know, Jeff Garcia's...
And these are the AFC divisional matchups.
With Turnpike Vinny hobbled by injuries, the Jets' game plan was to give the ball to former Patriot Curtis Martin early and often. 7-0 Jets. Victor Green always plays big against New England. Mo Lewis bats the ball. Green brings it down, 21 yards, 14-0, Jets in the lead. In the second quarter, Kevin Falk's 9-yard run brought the Patriots within 4 points, but that would be as close as they got. Remember Curtis Martin? This 4-yard touchdown made it 21-10. And watch Martin just vault the camera. No problem. Martin's third touchdown iced the game at 31-10. The final score, 34-10. Curtis Martin, 34 carries, 143 yards. The Jets had 38 minutes of possession. Victor Green had 2 sacks to go with that interception, as the Jets sacked Drew Bledsoe 6 times overall. In Pittsburgh, Kent Graham was back at quarterback, and on the game's second play, he hit Hines Ward. Hines took a licking, kept on ticking, 77 yards, 7-0, Pittsburgh in the lead. And that was just about as good as it got. Akili Smith was bad for the Bengals. Scott Mitchell came in, he was worse. Watch this pass. Dwayne Washington gets one of 2 interceptions off Mitchell. Mitchell was 4 for 16 for a grand total of 39 yards on the day. Chris Brown kicked 2 field goals for Pittsburgh, but the real star of the game was Josh Miller, who punted a club record 12 times. Joey Porter closed out the scoring with his 3rd sack of the game. This one for a safety as Mitchell went down like a tree. The final 15-0. The bus was over 100 yards rushing, but this game had 22 punts and only 27 completed passes. Ugh. Talk about winning ugly. The Raiders rolled into Arrowhead and took the lead on a short pass from Rich Gannon to Napoleon Kaufman. But Elvis Gerback hit Tony Gonzalez to put the Chiefs up 10-7. As somebody once said, Elvis in the house. And then Elvis did it again. Tony Richardson this time on the end of the Elvis pass. In for the touchdown, 17-7 Chiefs. Tony gets the score and decides to return to sender. But on a 4th and 1, Gannon fakes the bootleg and then hits Tim Brown for 32 yards. Just get it up there. Brown will catch it. That sets up a touchdown. And on the touchdown, watch Gannon keep the play alive until he finally finds Tyrone Wheatley. This ties the game up at 17. And unlike last week, this week, Sebastian Janikowski does what he's supposed to do. 38 seconds left, 43 yards away, 20-17, Oakland win. Donnie Edwards had 13 solo tackles for the Chiefs, but they managed only 58 yards rushing. And Rich Gannon is making a case as the AFC's MVP so far this season.
Yeah, apparently Coach Gruden had a word with his kicker in the week and spelled it out to him a little bit.
I think so. Defeated in the division, each with 1 loss, 1 game ahead of Indianapolis, and Buffalo in a lot of trouble division-wise. They're really playing for a wild card already. In the Central, Tennessee and Baltimore still unbeaten in the division, and they match up next week. In the West, Oakland now 2 games up on Denver and Kansas City in the loss column. San Diego 0-7. In the NFC, Giants and Washington. Washington on a 4-game win streak. Philadelphia at 4-3, and they still could surprise a couple of people. Central's a tough division. Tampa Bay, the big surprise at only 3-3. Detroit at 4-2, and Minnesota riding along unbeaten. As are the St. Louis Rams at 6-0. New Orleans right now looks like the best bet in that division for 2nd place. The other 3 teams really are struggling. And individual leaders, Charlie Garner still leads the league in rushing, Rod Smith in receiving yards. Who's that guy, Kurt Warner?
I don't know the name.
In passing, he's 500 yards ahead of Dan Marino's pace for the most yards in the